What's going on, guys? We're doing a Yoshimura exhaust install on the Renegade 1000 here today. So I'm going to give you a little startup of the stock exhaust so you hear the difference between that and the Yoshimura. Here at idle, it's got a little, you hear that V-twin sound? Chris, you want to give it a little throttle? You can hear it's got a little sound there. We'll hear what it sounds like difference with the Yoshimura. It should be a lot deeper of a richer tone. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so install tip 1. A lot of videos I've seen, people make a disaster out of getting this stock exhaust off. It's really not hard at all. You just take off these 2 bars that go here. There's just really 4 bolts. They come off. And then the exhaust clamp, the muffler clamp right here. You don't need to be pulling this rod from the muffler out of the grommet. You unbolt the whole clamp and it just comes right off. Once you loosen the exhaust clamp for the header pipe, it just pulls right out. We got it pretty much set to go. It took a little bit of coaxing and wiggling, but you'll see it's out. So, and that's it. That sucker's off. Let's get the Yoshimura. We'll show you guys a comparison. So here you can see the difference between the stock muffler and the pipe and the Yoshimura. The Yoshimura is a 2-piece setup, so the pipe will slip in here, then it's held in with springs, similar to other exhaust setups on other ATVs. Whereas the factory muffler, it's just a welded-on pipe. You can see the difference in diameter. Slightly larger on the Yoshi. Probably like, I would say close to a 1/4 inch difference, if I had to guess. And then the bend is quite different as well. So we're gonna get this sucker in and then we'll show you what it looks like. All right, guys, so you see the header pipe's going on. I wanted to show you, when you take off the stock muffler, the clamp's gonna be attached. And then this pipe is obviously being much bigger. It's not gonna just slip over your factory header without an exhaust donut, which is included with the kit with the Yoshimura. So you'll see, if I can get this off again. You see the donut on there? I slipped it over the pipe already. It kind of stops at the edge of the pipe. And then make sure your clamp is on in that direction so that you can get to the bolt. And this will just slip over, it'll stop, and then you'll have access to the bolt in a stock location. Once we get this in position, it'll be like that. And it's gonna look nice. The Yoshimura's muffler is gonna sit further back because it's not as big, so it's gonna kind of be centered in the space where the stock muffler was, and the pipe into the stock muffler is kind of offset towards the front. So this pipe is a little bit bigger. It goes back a little further to the Yoshimura. And that's just to really reduce the big kink in the bend so you get better flow. So anxious to see how this is gonna produce any throttle response or anything like that with the increased flow here. So that's so far so good. It's been pretty easy. We'll see what happens here. Step 2. All right, guys. So here you can see we're installing the heat shield. So now what you're gonna do is, there's a little tiny bracket. It's shape of an L. You're just gonna stick it up here. When this is all unbolted, this kind of moves a lot. So you can wedge that in there, and then this piece you'll see just butts up against the cross member there on the back of the frame, and then the 2 little short bolts go in there. You're gonna leave it loose for now, it says the instructions, until you get everything fit. Then we'll torque everything down. So that's so far so good. Let's see what happens. A little clarification on this step is the instructions. If you download the instructions from the BRP website, they are not 100% clear. So you kind of got to use a little bit of common sense and read the steps on the instructions a few times. This is not as hard as if you watch other videos. I've seen people taking 12, 13 hours to ripping the whole quad apart to put an exhaust system on. This is not difficult at all. So far, everything's gone very smooth. You just got to do the steps in the right process. So you have these aluminum spacers. They're like this. Okay, they're gonna slide in here. Comes with new hardware. So when you have the frame piece in that side, you're gonna stick it in here. And then through the other side, you're gonna have a washer and a nut, okay? Same thing with the top. That brass aluminum spacer goes in through the back right there. And then through the front, you stick your bolt and washer. Everything's loose fitted right now. You can see the pipe slipped right into the exhaust. Perfect. Once we get everything in place, we're gonna get the other side on. There's another small heat shield to install, and then we'll get everything torqued down and show you the finished product. All right, guys, so here is the really the trickiest part. The exhaust install was easy. Everything's all in there, buttoned up, went as smooth as possible. But this is the part that you have to do a little figuring out, because throughout the years, this exhaust fits all year Can-Am Renegade 1000s. I think even 850s and 650s. So this one here, the voltage regulator's got to be moved, and that's different on each year. So this is the old voltage regulator bracket. It's attached to this, bolted up over here, in here. So the new one's going to actually move it. And here's the new bracket right here, and it comes with all this assortment of hardware. So it's really just meant for different years, different voltage regulators. You're going to use what you need. You're going to take out these two T40 Torx bolts from the top here that go in to the frame. It's a welded on nut in the back, so you don't got to worry about a wrench in the back side. So once you take those out, this is going to slip into place here. You're going to reuse those T40s, and you're going to one of those nut washers that come with the kit right there in that hole here, right there. So once this is in place, then instructions tell you to drill out the proper holes for the voltage regulator. You can see there's 3 holes and 3 holes. So those are for all the different types of voltage regulators throughout the years. They're already pre-drilled. Instructions say you have to drill them out and you need a drill bit, but you don't. At least not in this kit. They already came pre-drilled. So we're gonna get this put in place, and then we'll show you what it looks like. But I just wanted to show you guys a little tip for this and where it's gonna go, because if you read the instructions, it's kind of hard to figure out. It just says move voltage regulator to new mounting location towards front of the vehicle. You gotta figure out where the bracket goes, which is pretty self-explanatory, but some people out there, you may have a hard time. So okay, this will kind of show you. Here's the voltage regulator loosely installed. I got the bolts in. I just wanted to show you guys. So the wires, it used to attach, and it would be, it was kind of sitting out here. So the wires came up and over. You have to reroute the wires. You have cut a couple zip ties, and you're going to reroute the plugs to come behind the shock here to go to the new location, or else you're never going to get the wires from up here to go around and bend. They're just not going to work. So you reroute them. The instructions, again, do not show you this. So this is where you're going to have to use your brain a little bit, but I've already got it figured out for you. So that was just the wrench that fell. So just do exactly the way I just showed it to you. There are spacers that come out of the factory bolts for the voltage regulator. I use them in between here. So when it sits, once these are tight, you'll see there'll be a tiny bit of space, right? Just the way the factory was in the factory setup. And then it will get those plugged in. And then we'll be ready to start this thing up and show you guys how. All right, guys, so we got it all installed. My brother's just buttoning it up, putting the side plastics on. Nothing's been started yet. We're gonna do the first start for you guys, just to show you. The pipe is nice and cold. We haven't started it yet. We're gonna be starting it on camera for the first time. So if there's any issues, you guys will hear them at the same time we do. But to kind of summarize, this whole job took an hour. If it takes you 4 or 5 hours, you're doing something wrong. I've seen plenty of other videos on YouTube on how to install exhaust on these things, and the extents people go with taking the whole back end of the unit apart boggles my mind. If you follow the instructions, for the most part, for the first few steps, it'll at least guide you in the way of how much disassembly you need to do, which is really just these 2 bars and take the voltage regulator off and let it hang from the factory bracket until you're ready to install the new one. Everything else is pretty straightforward. And you can see here, I'll kind of highlight it all. Springs go right on. They give you the spring stretching tool to put them on, and they're not difficult at all. The pipe just slips in there. It's a slip fit. No clamp here, just the springs hold it in. And then you have the new clamp there with the exhaust donut. That's all tightened up nice. And you can see plenty of clearance still on everything. You can get a whole finger back there, almost pinky size, about between the pipe and the heat shield. And so it shouldn't be any rattles. Everything's pretty good to go. Really nice and clean setup. I'll show you how the voltage regulator ended up finishing up. So as you can see, we rerouted those wires, okay? Normally they would come out up top there. Cut the zip tie up there. There's another zip tie back here where they're all bunched up. Pulled them around. You can't, it's 2 plugs, you can't mess them up because one's gray, one's black, and then the plugs on the voltage regulator are also gray and black. So, and if you forget which one it was, they make it pretty dummy proof. So I zip tied them back in a way that they don't rub the shock body, so you got plenty of clearance. That'll focus, there you go. And so it's in there, everything's ready to go. We're gonna fire her up. There she goes. Is loud. I don't know if that camera's picking it up. This thing is ripping. Doesn't seem to be any exhaust leaks. I don't hear. Nothing's rubbing or rattling. No exhaust leaks there. Everything's good. Sounds good. Let it warm up a minute. We'll take this thing down the block. We'll give you a little drive-by and some sound clips. But yeah, she's loud. She is loud. Barks, that's for sure. I don't know why some of this exhaust packing is hanging out there. It should be the end of it. But it is definitely loud. What do you think, Chris?
Sounds great.
This is my brother Chris, that's his machine. I'm gonna get this sucker pulled out, give you guys a couple sound clips, how it sounds driving. Oh yeah, she is loud. You definitely hear that thing coming now. We were out riding yesterday. I had my Raptor with the Yoshi on it. And he was behind me for the most part, but I didn't know if he was behind me or not. Now you can hear him coming a mile away. Woo! She cooks. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it helped some of you out. As far as the install goes, some little tips and tricks. And thanks for watching. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram at Odyssey_offroad. And share the videos with your friends. I hope this one helps somebody out. Oh yeah, there you go. Like I said, this one was pretty easy install. Watch this video. Hope you guys watch this video before you watch some of the other ones on YouTube, because there's some disastrous exhaust install videos I found. So, oh yeah, she's loud. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.